Hi, this is Philip for Phonescoop.com, and here I'm looking at the Samsung Transform, which is one of the first phones on Sprint's network to run the new Sprint ID interface ideas. As you can see, the Samsung Transform is a QWERTY slider. It's sort of like a miniature version of the Samsung Epic, though the similarities are really only skin deep, and even then not so much. It's got this 4-row keyboard here. Keyboard makes some sort of interesting choices. I've never seen the $ get its own key on a keyboard before. But otherwise, on the outside, it's a nice piece of hardware. You get screen lock, voice dialing button. Of course, voice dialing never actually worked properly for me. You get a camera button here. Samsung is seriously in love with the sliding micro USB ports. They're showing up on a lot of Samsung phones these days, but it's a solid design choice. And what you see here is the Sprint ID pack. So this is just one of the many interface designs that you can download for this phone. And this one features mostly Sprint software, so as you can see, you get Telenav, which used to be Sprint Navigator. You get Sprint's NASCAR app. You get the football app from Sprint, as well as all the normal sort of Android accoutrements. Unfortunately, the Samsung Transform is a phone that has some significant problems. First of all, the Sprint ID seems like it's going to be a nice idea. You get to load separate apps, ringtones, wallpapers, and widgets from each ID pack, and you can download these ID packs from a Sprint store. Here you can see on the phone you get the My ID, which is just my own custom setup. Here's an electronic arts pack, which is supposed to come with a few games. There's a pack from Yahoo. You can load up to 6 packs on your phone at once. Unfortunately, the packs only load over Sprint's EVDO network. You can't load them over Wi-Fi, which would make a whole lot of sense. And of course that message isn't very clear about what's going wrong. Here you can see I'm going to switch from the Sprint pack to the EA pack. Now there isn't much to the EA pack, so this shouldn't take long, but as you can see there's a lot of waiting. And this is really one of the shorter wait times you're going to encounter on this phone. When you actually load new packs onto the phone, that's a 5 or 6 minute procedure, if not longer, depending on which pack you get. Now this would be really nice if this EA pack really came with a version of Tetris and Scrabble, but these are actually just demo versions. They only last for about 30 seconds before it prompts you to buy the new version. And this entire pack really just seems to market electronic arts more than it serves the consumer itself. And this is one of my big problems with the Sprint ID concept, is that it really seemed more about Sprint and Sprint's partners than the consumer who's actually going to be buying and using this phone. So now that I'm just connected to Sprint's network, I can check out the Sprint ID pack store. There's a lot of redundancies here, so you get the featured packs up top. You also get a list of featured packs here at the bottom, or you can search all ID packs. There isn't really good organization to this. As you can see, there's a lot of lifestyle packs for fashion and beauty, golf enthusiasts. And these would be really nice if they did exactly what you would expect. So for the home base, I would expect something like a calendar, maybe a to-do list, things that would help me manage my household and keep things in order. But instead what you get are a lot of game demos and strange downloads from Handmark and other developers that don't really seem to make sense with the pack at hand. So there are going to be more packs coming from Oprah, E! Online, MTV networks. They haven't arrived yet, so I wouldn't say that it's a guarantee, but Sprint does say that they're on their way. And hopefully they offer some more interesting content, maybe even an interesting layout, because all of the packs really have the same very basic layout, just a jumble of icons, nothing to really make this phone very useful for you. So I still think the Sprint ID packs are a good idea, but I still had other problems with the Samsung Transform. This is a very, very buggy phone. I encountered a lot of strange problems, most of which I couldn't figure out how to fix. The phone didn't work in USB storage mode. I couldn't even get USB debugging to work, so to do some developing with the phone. A lot of features you would just click on something and it might open or it might not. Buttons sometimes failed. Sometimes the screen would just get laggy. There was just so many issues. I could go on and on for a 10-minute video just describing everything that went wrong with this phone. It does get a few things right. I found call quality to be pretty good. I did like the camera on this phone. Surprisingly, for only a 3-megapixel camera, I thought the pictures were actually pretty good. They were definitely worthwhile for social networking. It does use a very basic Android camera interface, nothing too impressive here, but who cares too much about that if it can still take some pretty good shots. So I think with a more powerful piece of hardware, maybe a few different tweaks and a little bit more effort on the part of the ID Pack designers, you might come up with something really interesting for the Sprint ID Packs, but for now it's still going to take a significant amount of work. For PhoneScoop.com, this is Philip Byrne.